nation! No donation, no salvation!
And remember, respect is everything.
And we're back. So, I was supposed to do part 2 of that toy haul that I was doing literally last video, but I decided to do something a little more special today. So for those who don't know, today's my birthday. I figured I'd do something a little more special since, I am now 24 years old, and, I do care about the channel, so I figured I'd share, a lot of what makes it, special to me. So I figured we'll do a bit of a tour of my Lego city, which is constantly changing, that I call 7 City, as well as some of my other Mocs and stuff, so if you're interested in that, feel free to keep watching. But if you want just a general update on videos, I got a lot of stuff planned. It's just I need to film it, and lately I've been very busy with a lot of other things, so forgive me. Let's get some lights on in here just so we can take in the full effect. So this is my this is 7 City, which is what I decided to call it because I just there's a whole history with me and the number 7. Here's my little remote for the LEDs. So let's go with a nice blue. Let's turn them on first. That's kind of cool. So yeah, just a little remote, just because it helps with the lighting. I don't really use it as much as I would like to, though. It's a little unresponsive at times. But that's the normal setting I go with, is the soft white. But anyway, like I said, this layout changes constantly, but I'm trying to reduce some of it because I feel like I overcrowded it a bit with buildings and vehicles, and when you have a lot of Mocs like I do, it's hard to utilize them all, so I decided to not just use them all at once and just kind of save them for different stories and stuff in my videos and stop motions when I can ever get around to those. But here's kind of where it starts, and yeah, I know that tape looks a little bad. There's the palm trees, which I actually made this painting myself. It's just a bunch of notebook paper that I taped together, and I took a bunch of spray paint and I hand painted the trees myself, so that's why they're very special to me. I'm really into the 80s aesthetic, Miami and all that. But yeah, here's just a quick overview of the city. There's some stuff from my Matador saga thing that I'm doing, since I decided to make that its own separate story. There's the little parking lot area. There's the Wayne's World Pacer. There's the Matador, the Chibi door as I call it. There's Jiffy Bob Ramsey, who's in the middle of a car chase. Let's get you out of there, pal. And then here's just kind of the more different areas of the city. There's the church, just because, I don't know, I felt the need to have one. I was going to do a zombie movie with it, but I never got around to it. There's the old junkyard, which I haven't showed off yet. I was going to use it for, because I want to use this city more in my stop motions and stories. Maybe change the layout a bit so it's not redundant. But, like I said, it's just a matter of having the energy and time for it. There's some cars that I just threw in. There's my little Knight Rider wannabe, and this really interesting luxury car I built that I posted on Twitter at one point, so there's that. And then here's more of the abandoned buildings and just rural parts of town. There's this old, junky convertible I put together. And then there's the junkyard. Really not much to it. There is a truck in here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, there's a little Ute truck in there. It is a truck, it's just the angle's weird. And then there's a little garage area, some tires and extra parts and whatnot. So this is my little junkyard area. I'm gonna expand on it more, build more stuff on it, maybe have a car crusher or something. Maybe a crane, I don't know, I'm thinking about it. Here's my $2 shelf, which I've probably talked about before. I'm still kind of updating it and doing stuff with it. There's Unicron. So there's the city. Again, it changes all the time because I like to have variety and make it seem like there's different areas of the town. So it is what it is, and then some extra buildings and stuff that I've yet to utilize. In the closet, I have an entire archive of all the Lego Transformers that I've built over the years, because I keep all this stuff. There's Devastator in his own little box, which I thought was kind of cool, so there he is there. And then there's Punch Counterpunch. I keep most of my builds unless I decide to change the character or whatnot. There's my model cars and stuff. There's the Optimus Prime set that I bought a while back when I did that review. And then just some die-cast cars and other things. I'm sure I've showed this closet off numerous times. little miscellaneous things, some Monster Jam Lego trucks. But over here, we have all of my miscellaneous Mocs. So in the back, we got, there's RoboCop. I actually did a video on him. There's the StarCraft 2 Marine, which I do want to do a video on at some point. That's the little wolf girl robot character I did. Here, let me move my little dragon friend. I actually did find the artist who made that art piece, so I'll probably put a link to that in the comments or something. It was on Twitter, so I'll probably just put it in the video, like the actual picture next to it. So I did finally get closure on that. I found out who made that piece. Apparently it was a Japanese artist, which doesn't surprise me. And I did post on their timeline or thread, but who knows if they actually saw it. There's my character Sloan Morley, who is ironically unintentionally named after the rapper who made this character. So for those who don't know, this is a character that has a long history behind it, and the original person actually found me recently, and we just kind of go back and forth, you know, talking about stuff, and you know, he let me keep the character. Obviously, it's not based on his real person; it's in my own little universe and stuff. Random writing jargon. This is a model based on my brother's Honda Valkyrie, which was one of his first like motorcycles that he actually liked when he bought it. So the actual chassis is an official Lego set, but I just built around it to make it look more like the Honda that he had. Because they made some really cool cruiser bikes back in the day, and now everything's all Harleys and all that. It's like, man, it's all overrated. Japanese though, they make some solid cruisers. Here's my little dragon friend. He's just a grumpy little dragon. He just sits here in the corner, and yes, his mouth does open. But yeah, I just thought that was neat. Over here we have Arya Wintermint, the little anime character that I really like, that I discovered years ago. The one that's literally my current phone background. Well, okay, she's wearing a different outfit in this picture, but oh, my phone's freaking out. Yeah, she's wearing a different outfit, but I mean, it's the same character, just different clothes, I guess. I don't know. And then she has her little Octo friend. There's Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. There's Bun Bun 2000, who I did a video on long ago for an Easter special. And some random, some guns for RoboCop and extra parts for Mechagodzilla. Down here we just have some more miscellaneous stuff. There's what's supposed to be an F-18 from Top Gun Maverick. Little helicopter, I'm still updating this, it's not done yet. There's the Trans Am 20,000s that I did a video on. And then over here we got the Monster Truck Challenger, which used to be an RC car body, but I'm not really using it for anything, so I just turned it into a monster truck. And then here's my little, so if you've ever played Tomb Raider or any of the Half-Life games, this is based on the USP Match, which is basically just a really like massive handgun. But I like the ones with the stainless steel slide, so I made a replica of that. Magazine does work, and the slide and all that. I may do a video on it at some point, but I'm not really much of a gun person anyway. There's a little dragster, like hot rod thing that I made. Or it's not really a hot rod, it's just like a dragster. Down here is all the movie cars, which again are always constantly changing. Some of these aren't movie cars though, some of these are just legit, like just normal car Mocs that I threw together. Let me get some light so you guys can see it better. Here we go. I'll get a chair so I can sit down too. So yeah, right here is the AMC Matador from the show Quincy ME. So yeah, I own an actual AMC Matador, but it's obviously green and white instead of the black one he had, which was a coroner's office vehicle. And then over here is the Starsky and Hutch Torino. I may do a video on this at some point, I'm not quite sure. This is just kind of my appreciation for like 70s car chases and movies and stuff, so that's why I built that. And there's the Megas XLR muscle car. Speaking of Megas, he's actually up here, so it's supposed to be that car on his head, or is his head. And there's the Driver San Francisco Challenger, which is sort of based on the official Lego set, but again, I just made it into the car from that game because if you don't know, that car is kind of my dream car. Because, you know, the Dodge Challenger is just a vehicle that I love a lot. Here's a Corvette that's kind of inspired, or it's not really a Corvette, it's more like a a Firebird. And sorry if it's really dusty. It's kind of inspired by the Corvette that cross-drove in the Need for Speed games back in the day, if you're familiar with that. Granted, it didn't have police lights like that, but I don't know, I just thought it would look cool as like a squad car. Here's my DeLorean that I probably showed off a few times. There's Eleanor from the remake of Gone in 60 Seconds, because for those who don't know, that movie's actually a remake. So it's based on the GT500 Mustang. Sorry if it's all really dusty, it's just, I don't really touch this shelf too much, but again, it's just kind of inspired by it. I'm sure there's a few inaccuracies here and there, but again, I just kind of threw that together. Over here is the Mad Max Interceptor that I built. Pretty self-explanatory if you're familiar with the Mad Max movies and games and other things that go with it. There's Christine, which I did do a video on a long time ago. It was an old Halloween special. So there's Christine. So that's fun. Over here next to Christine is the Daytona from Miami Vice, the Ferrari Oop, a piece fell off. Well, anyway, here's the Ferrari Daytona from Miami Vice with the soft top. You can remove the roof if you want to get the more convertible look, but I like how it looks with the roof up, just because I like those, you know, old school tan interiors. Let me find that piece before it falls off. And there's some little penny racer cars that I threw together, just because, I don't know, I thought they were... I like doing the old school, like, Lego racer style kind of, like, vehicle. Here's an old truck. I'm always building tons of these things, because, I don't know, I like them. Over here is the Death Proof Charger and Nova, based on the cars from the movie Death Proof. So here's a 69 Charger. Pretty self-explanatory. Again, sorry if they're very dusty. I really need to clean this shelf up at some point. That license plate's not movie accurate, it's just a random sticker I had. But yeah, that's based on the Charger from Death Proof, which I actually have that same hood ornament on my car. Here's the Chevy Nova as well, also based on the car from that movie. That was a little, what the hell is that? A little piece of metal. But yeah, I've done videos on both these cars already. What else? Here's the DeLorean again. Let's get a better look at that one. So there's that, and yeah, the doors do work, because why not? And then down here are these are miscellaneous cars that I'm constantly updating all the time, so they change a lot. So here's like an old pickup truck, kind of based on a Holden Monero, sort of. Again, it changes a lot. Granted, that bumper looks nothing like a Monero. This is an actual, this was an actual Lego kit, but it's from like years ago. And all the stickers kind of fell off of it, but I just kept it because it looked cool, and I don't know, I like these side pieces. Get that out of the way. Here's like a little off-roader, like buggy kind of muscle car, or not really a muscle car, but just like an off-roady buggy kind of car. Nothing too crazy there. Here's the Mustang Mach 1, based on the car that Steven Seagal had in the movie Marked for Death. And yes, I know Steven Seagal, he is like the worst human being that ever lived, but the car in that movie was so cool that I had to make it. So, there's that. I mean, it should be up here with the movie cars, but I guess I could swap out that Corvette for the Mustang, but I don't know, it's whatever. It's more recognizable than this car is. Oh, well, at least it fits. But anyway, get that Corvette out of the way. Over here is sort of my version of Brian's Skyline from the Fast and the Furious, because I did have my brother pick this up for me like a while back, so I figured, alright, I'll make something with those stickers and decals, since I can't really use those rear fenders because of the printing on them. Over here is a little sports car kind of based on the Viper GTS. Granted, it's a convertible, so it's more like the first gen Vipers. The doors on this one actually work, which is kind of cool. It's based on a character one of my cars drives, or one of my characters drives in my story. She drives a car like this, and she's a cop, and it's a cool story, but I still need to finish it at some point. Over here is like a little, like, kind of Dodge van, or Chevy van that I just kind of threw together. As you can see, the front doesn't match. It's supposed to be like some old beater that someone bought, and they just repaired it the best they could. What's over here? What else is over here? Let's put that van over here. Here's some parts from the old James Bond kit that they released, like, I want to say was a few months back. Again, I just kind of slapped those together too and made this weird kind of, like, Aston Martin-esque car, I guess. I don't know. It was just something I threw together. Over here, we have an old SUV, kind of based on a Chevy Blazer. Again, it's not quite exact. None of my vehicles really are, but I don't know. I thought it was cool. It's got a little roof rack, so that's nice. So there's a truck, and then there's a little cargo trailer for it to haul stuff. Let's see. Let's move this over here. Underneath that, we have this kind of Lamborghini style Ford GT looking sports car. I say it's more Ford GT just because of the Golf livery, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting. This is just kind of something I threw together, just so I could use that roof so it wouldn't go to waste. What else is over here? This one is kind of special. This is the Chevy Chevelle. I think it was a Chevelle. That they had in, it was in one of the Scarface, it was in the first Scarface movie, or, well, the only movie. It was that red convertible they had, or I think it was an Impala, I don't remember. It was either a Chevelle or an Impala, one of the two. And it was during the first scene where they're trying to make the drug deal, and they roll up in this beat up car. It was a convertible, but the drug deal goes bad and they end up having to, like, just blast out of there. I love Scarface. That movie is so cartoonishly violent and stupid, but I love it. There's that little Holden truck. Over here is a little speedboat, so that's cool, I guess. Here's my Camaro, which is kind of based on the Camaro from Zombie Driver. Also, for those wondering, no, I didn't cut my hair. I just have it tied back, and I really need to brush my hair. God, it's just knots like crazy. But whatever, that's just irrelevant. Anyway, that's not important. But anyway, you'll have a good one.
Hallelujah! Another soul saved!